shocks me. I'm just.
I once played a little league game by the dam down in like Lawrenceville area, and the umpire was so drunk he wet himself halfway through the game. They had to ask him to leave.
That's a new one.
Umpire wet himself down by the dam.
Remember?
That's a statement that only applies to this region.
Remember that umpire? You probably had him in J. I think he did JV. He was like 90 years old.
Yeah.
But if you made a mistake, he would like come over and like try to coach you in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
He umpired when my dad was playing Little League. Like that's how.
Is he in jail for like touching kids now? All right, gentlemen, episode 27.
He might be gone.
27.
Are we redoing that? Or?
No, we're good. Okay, before we get started, if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, the audio version, we are on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and like the channel. If you're on YouTube, we are on Apple and Spotify. We're also on Facebook now. So if you guys want to go check out the Facebook page. Is he all right over there?
This kid's going to struggle this episode. I can already tell.
Jesus.
Should we switch spots or what?
It's one of those days.
So yeah, follow, and we got some big things coming. So I explained to Russ before you guys got here. Website will be launching probably next Monday or Tuesday. So if you're into fantasy football, we will have our first tad bit of business on the website. Is football's 3 weeks away.
I was gonna say that's coming up.
It's
quick.
3 weeks. So if you haven't done your draft or you're looking to make changes and trades, we have a mock draft dropping that our friend Mike, which you guys will learn about soon, will be doing. And then if you're into daily fantasy on DraftKings or FanDuel, he is your guy with the information for football. So we'll be doing weekly updates, predictions, and advice for daily fantasy. So more to come on that. And hopefully that'll be next week. Early next week, we'll have that. All right.
Sweet.
So before we get started, I want Adam to retell the story from the text messages last night. Was it last night?
Oh, but yeah, that was last night.
Go ahead. Tell the world what you did.
So I've had a couple DraftKings mishaps. Games getting delayed right after start time, then I can't exchange guys. So Braves and Yankees got rained out at 7:15 last night.
This is on DraftKings or FanDuel?
DraftKings.
Okay.
Gets rained out at 7:15. Game's supposed to start at 7:10, so they locked. And I had two Braves in the lineup and a Yankee.
So if you're not familiar, then the lineup's locked prior to the rain delay. Yeah. Therefore, you were not able to change your players
my guys out.
So you had guys in there that would get 0 points.
So I look in the weather app, and I'm like, I'm looking at and I think I figured out now what was going on in my head. So
Can't wait to hear this.
So I'm obviously watching on Yes Network because that's where I have to watch it.
Yep.
And it's not raining. And I'm like, why did they call the damn game? So I pull up a map of the radar, zoom in on the Bronx. I said, the fucking rain is 30 miles past them.
He sent us a screenshot of the radar in the Bronx, by the way.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, why did they call the game? So then about, 15 minutes later, I said, holy shit, guys, they're playing in Atlanta.
Oh, my God. I was going to say, what's the kicker here?
But then I sent a picture of the radar in Atlanta, and there was no rain around. But I think I figured out, you know how away teams, announcers aren't traveling.
Correct.
So they were in the camera in New York. So it wasn't raining in New York, but the announcer was sitting in New York.
travel.
So I was thinking, he's there, it's not raining in New York.
I'm surprised the announcers can do that remotely and not have any delay or anything.
Yeah, they've all been doing it. I haven't noticed much.
They might be piped into a different feed.
Just one really long Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I don't know, but
that's why they had to keep it in the East and
it's
the East.
interesting.
Yeah. So make sure you know where your teams are playing before you get pissed.
Okay.
You
I
sent
still won money, so it was all right.
you sent the picture of the radar. I'm like, okay, I don't know what he's getting at. And then I don't think you responded to the text either.
No, I was
And then we got a message.
shaking my head.
Oh, shit, guys, they're playing in Atlanta. Well, that'll do it. That will do it.
And there was a joke made about my last name.
I said, you definitely are Polish.
Yes.
I'm not
Holy
going to touch that one. You're looking at me like you're waiting for it, but I got no hot take on that one.
No. You boys ready for this weekend?
Yeah.
Little golf, little cash game.
I don't know.
Do you want to just give me your money now, or
Ooh. Guy buys one new driver, and all of a sudden he's got the world by the ass.
It's got an 85-degree loft on it. What do you?
Still got nothing?
just wait till you see it? I mean,
You're playing behind us, actually, so we will see it. You're in the group behind us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear pants just so you make comments
I don't care. You wear pants.
and a white belt.
Do you want to keep going there, Zachary?
No.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to golf. Not our golf. This week this week is a second week of playoffs. Last week was first week.
Yep.
A couple observations. And I think this has a lot to do with the schedule being, a lot of it being just chopped out because of COVID, and they're playing a slim schedule. There is 32 guys playing this week that could potentially qualify for the Tour Championship next week that have never played at Eastlake.
Wow.
32 guys. That's almost half your field this week because there's 70.
That's what I thought. I thought I read something. There's 10 guys already in the top 30 that have never played there.
Yeah, I believe it, yeah. So this is what I can contribute to, and tell me what you think. A lot of big names. I'm going to use Dustin, even though he's making it. You got Dustin Johnson, the Justin Thomases, even the Fowlers who didn't make it. He's not playing this week. Jordan Spieth, who's struggling but still didn't make it. A lot of these bigger name guys who revolve their schedule. I mean, Spieth kind of got hung up on it a couple years ago where he planned his schedule on making the Tour Championship,
Right.
and didn't play the required number of events, and kind of worked out a deal, I'm assuming, with the Tour, the way they do that. So with the schedule being chopped out, we have like 32 guys that have never played Eastlake who could potentially play Eastlake next week in a Tour Championship.
32 of 70.
Yep. So here's what I think is happening. Those guys they're playing in events during the wraparound season in the fall that count towards next season. And you got the bigger name guys who are just not playing until, what, January?
Yeah. A lot of them play in a couple tournaments in Hawaii and then maybe once in, at the Genesis or something like that. And then the players came. They got the, 3 tournaments in Florida? I don't know if they played 3.
They probably only play
I think they were in the third.
4 or 5 times before the Arnold Palmer and the Masters usually.
Right. So, yeah,
So I think that's
play
what's
much.
happening is they didn't plan on COVID, so these guys played events, racked up points, and then there was no season.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it was a mistake that some of these guys didn't come out and play in these quote-unquote lesser events? I mean,
No, because there's no way to predict the horse shit storm that happened.
We all thought it was going to
Of
be a couple
2020.
weeks or a month. I mean,
I'm talking
summer melted
post-COVID.
away.
Like, I get that's the norm. Like you said, they thought it was going to be a couple weeks. But post-COVID, if you want to secure your spot to play for $10 million or whatever it is now.
What was the average? I don't know how many tournaments they've had. 7 before the playoffs? 6?
It wasn't many.
6 or 7? I would, and I don't know the number, but I'm guessing most of those bigger names played in 4 to 5 of those tournaments.
I'm not sure. I mean, who played in Detroit that was...
I mean, a couple of bigger names, but yeah, obviously I think they're still in.
Yeah.
But like guys, I think about Justin Rose. Like he finished what? I don't know. He finished 118 or he was.
Yeah, there was guys from Europe who didn't come over.
Yeah, Fleetwood was another one that
took his time coming over here.
Out, yeah,
and missed the playoffs. He's headed back home. He said.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can base it all off that. And you got to think about. I obviously the playoffs, you're $10 million on the line, but at the same time, I think most of these guys are playing for a major. So you're telling me, you got another major in 3 weeks, and then another one, 6-7 weeks after that.
I'd still want that $10 million.
Yeah, but I think it's if you have 1 bad tournament, 2 bad tournaments, it's hard to make that up. Especially as well as those guys at the top are playing.
That's what I mean. Why wouldn't they play more post-COVID to make sure they're into the playoffs or at least into this week with the top 70? There's a lot of guys in there who probably no one knows who they are.
Yeah. Because
they played early and they played when there's not a big magnifying glass on the tour.
But, yeah, and I guess obviously $10 million is $10 million, but taking out the $10 million, like guys like Brooks that missed the play, he could have played this week, but it's probably better for him to rest, withdraw from last week's and then just wait until the U.S. Open. He probably had to win last week to get in the top 70.
Seemed like you were sort of casting doubt there, Kyle, about Brooks' condition.
I just said he was injured. I don't know what his. I know he's had knee issues. But.
Yeah, the way you said it seemed like maybe you thought he was.
I agree with that. You said that in a very questioning manner, like you were claiming.
Oh, because I said he claimed he was injured.
Because
I don't know.
Conspiracy theory you had going. Or...
I mean, it is ass eating season for Brooks. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Peaches are in.
Yeah, Georgia peaches are in. So eat that ass, Brooks. Thank you, CPG. I don't know. I'm not in their shoes, and I wish I was, but I think I would do my best. If I played in events I wouldn't normally play in, even if those events were, post-COVID, probably still would have played with them just to make sure I was.
It'd be interesting to know the numbers of those. I think it was 7 tournaments of how many the guys that missed. Because even Tiger played in 3 tournaments.
Yeah.
So he didn't play much, but he also
he won.
He won in Japan or
China, GXO.
Yeah. So that helped him early on, but
because you still get FedEx Cup points. Yeah.
So I mean that certainly helped him, and he's 57th, 58th.
They said he's got to finish. They're projecting he needs to finish T4 or better this week to make it to next week.
Right. And this is a pretty new course for most of these guys. So.
Yeah, probably a lot of them played Olympia Fields.
They said a lot of experience to the guys who played in college, because I guess they have a college tournament every year.
USAM Bryson won the USAM there.
Yeah, and then I think there's an actual college tournament every year there that
probably
Morikawa and Wolf and Hovland have all played in. So Wolf and everybody playing Wolf and DeChambeau have won on that course.
Okay, and yeah. That'll be interesting. I'm curious. I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, you could have some guy that the average golf fan's like, who the hell is this guy? He could go out and win the FedEx Cup.
That's what I was thinking. The guys like Brendan Todd's played well. Harris English is playing well right now.
Yeah.
There's those guys. One guy I was surprised about, I was listening to another podcast. Ryan Palmer has never made to the Tour Championship.
He's not a journeyman for a while.
Yeah.
He's just a middle pack kind of
guy. But I'm surprised he's never just snuck in a little bit at the end of one of those.
Right.
And he's sitting like 18th or 20th right now.
So he's probably in for next week.
He's in right now, so as long as he's barring a terrible weekend.
Stays on his feet and holds a pulse, he's in.
Yeah.
Sweet. No doubt here. I mean, Koepka's knee is hurt, so I mean, I'm just saying.
So did you guys watch much this weekend?
So I did when I could. I watched more in the middle of the week, and I saw the worst 60 I've ever seen shot in my life.
Yeah, he was on fire.
It was ridiculous. I was watching it.
Did that look like a 7,400-yard golf course the way he played it? I've never seen someone tear apart a golf course of that length and make it look like a chip and putt course.
I mean, the guy hits it. He hits piss missiles, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he really does. But yeah, it was the worst 60. I don't want to sound like an asshole. It was really like the worst 60. The worst he could have shot out there was probably actually 58, and he ended up shooting 60.
Yeah. I mean, there was 56 potential.
Yeah. Scheffler goes out, and he shoots 59 early. And then DJ tees off, and he was like 7 under through 7.
He was 11 under through
10.
Then
he ended up being 11 under through 11.
Yeah. Or was it through 11?
Yeah.
So he needed one more birdie, and he made.
Right.
He didn't.
He made 8 straight pars, or 7 straight pars.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Max Homa's tweet?
No.
After he said, if DJ plays that new PGA video game, he's gonna think way too difficult.
So, by the way, the game's fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone over here is hooked. Like fiending.
Which one?
This one right here. I mean, He came in scratching his neck. He's like, "Where's your Xbox?" Then you got to download it.
It'll be on tonight.
All right. We want a rematch.
All right, I'm ready.
Dude, you were making everything last night.
Dude, lights out.
At one point, you said, "If I make this, I do have a horseshoe shoved in my ass."
Did you?
Spoiler alert.
Sounds like something you'd enjoy.
It was up there.
I made a doctor's appointment for Monday.
You were telling me that obviously they've always, for the last few years, had like your own country clubs you can make, and you said they've got societies. Are you going to make a 3-star
Already
society?
did.
Okay.
So there's a 3-star recruit society if you have the PGA Tour game.
Perfect.
You're late to the party.
Always.
Usually it's when Daddy's done working.
So
You want to talk about your mom's text? Let's talk about your mom's text.
Yeah.
Let's just
My
stop for a minute.
mom's text.
You
One
sent
that
me.
I sent you the screenshot?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up for reference.
Hi, Taylor's mom, by the way. I do read the comments, and I liked your comment on YouTube.
Does this count as a stat that I'm pulling up? Hang on.
Hey,
Look at all these blue text messages with not many replies from Kyle.
oh. I called you yesterday.
Jeez.
We bonded.
She says, "Are they calling you Stat Boy or Fact Boy?" It's Stat Boy, but they should call me Stat Man. Do they check comments on the videos? Because apparently she's a big fan.
No, let's hear it.
Did you get action over the weekend?
How many of you have ever received that text from your mother?
can't say
Well,
it.
she also
No.
she definitely listens the whole way through because she says, as they were leaving the podcast, I heard them say, "Good thing he moved out." And then apparently she's got like a photographic memory or something. Did you ever tell Kyle I saw him when he's a baby? Not usually a follow-up text you'd get after.
I hope I had
asking about
pants
action,
on.
but
I've always had this wonder in life. At one point, I thought I was going to do stand-up comedy. It didn't really pan out. But my story was going to be, or my theme was, the title of my comedy tour was going to be The Mysteries of Life. One of them was, why is there always one sneaker alongside the road? You ever notice that? Like, there's not just two shoes. There's always like a shoe missing. Like, what were you doing that you lost a shoe? Like, were you running from somebody? Like, okay, so that's my first one. The second one is, when you're a baby and you run around naked, it's really cute. Everyone thinks it's funny. At what age is it no longer cute? And at what age can you start doing it again? They're like, oh, he's just old.
19.
But that's as far as my comedy skit got, so I don't have any more Mysteries of Life yet. All right, let's get back to sports. So did any of your guys from our bet make it? Any of your top outside the 70 make it?
Oh, no, I was going to say Dustin Johnson won.
Well, that was ridiculous.
I'm all in still.
Your guy was outside?
Yeah.
Who'd you have?
Norin.
He made it?
Yeah, he's
Oh, he made it like on the-
59th or something.
Yeah.
Harold Varner still in?
I don't know.
I had Fowler. I think he actually trunk slammed and went home.
I had Fleetwood. He's out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got all three, but obviously, who was your? I forget who your top 30 guy was. I was trying to think.
My top 30 is Rory.
Rory, and then did you have Kiz?
No, I have
Oh.
Billy Horschel. Yeah.
That's going to pan out well, I think.
Hope so.
So yeah, I've got all three alive, but obviously, having a win is huge.
So one of the guys who missed this week is Phil. And Phil did something he said he wasn't going to do. And he played the Champions Tour, which he won today, which I was trying to figure out why they were playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Are they playing again this weekend?
Yeah,
Champions Tour?
Let me pull it up.
Stat boy.
I think that they've been playing weird schedules just
It's
because they
really
play
weird.
3-day tournaments.
Yeah.
So
So they played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
because
and
their major, I don't know what it was, the Bridgestone major, whatever they played last week, ended on like Thursday.
that is a weird schedule.
So then they had like a 3-day break until they played in this Ozark tournament.
Okay.
They don't play again until September 11th for the Sanford International Minnehaha Country Club in Sioux Falls.
Did you say Minnehaha?
Oh yeah,
Minnehaha, yes.
Dude, the Minnehaha Falls in Minneapolis, but that's in
This
South
is in South
Dakota,
Dakota.
but-
How did you... Oh, I said Sioux Falls. Never mind.
yeah.
Is that like
I got you.
You savant? Like that's the one thing you're really great at.
So, Phil looked. If you're Phil, said he wasn't going to do this, but did you start doing it more often if you're Phil? playing out there?
Yeah, why not?
How much did he make? Let me look that up.
$450.
Oh, that's it.
He would have had to finish top 4 this week to make that much.
This week.
Yeah. And he just went out for 3 days and shot 22 under.
How much did he win by? You got this over there?
4, I believe.
I think that's right, but I'll
4 or 5.
just to be sure.
So would you do it more if you're Phil?
He won by 4.
I don't know. If I have the choice, I'm still playing on the PGA Tour.
Right.
I don't think Phil gives a shit about money at this point in his life.
Doubt it. Yeah.
So it's not a money issue.
Do you think it's more of like a fun factor? Like,
no, I think
it's
he did
a little
it.
shorter. I don't know how long the course played, but I looked up Ozark National Course, and it was the back tees are just over 7,000 yards.
So he said, and it makes sense. He did make it to this week, so then he's not going to play Tour Championship. And then is the week after that U.S. Open or 2 weeks?
It's like the 18th of September, so he's got 2 weeks probably.
So he said he's playing well. He felt like he was playing well, and he's been working on some stuff. So he didn't. He wanted to stay active. So the opportunity was there, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go do it."
Right.
So I think that's why he did it. He's getting ready for the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
That's what he's getting ready for.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. I don't think his mindset is, oh, I want to go out and dominate the Champions Tour.
Win some money.
I think his mindset is just stay active, and this is an opportunity for me to do that.
I think they play the Charles Schwab Cup, and it's all based off how much you earned in the year. And I think Longer is winning it right now, and he's only made like $900,000. So Phil's like halfway to first after 1 week.
Isn't there like a bonus for that, like order finish?
I assume so.
Yeah, there's like a bonus. It's like the FedEx Cup.
Yeah. So if he went out and like played another tournament and between the U.S. Open and the Masters, and won again, he could be right near the top.
I saw a stat that was, I believe it was 22 times that people make their PGA Champions Tour debut, they've won. Because they're the youngest person. It's like, you're going to the old folks' home. And
Twice this year, right now? Because Furyk did it.
Yes, exactly.
Going to the old folks' home.
Well, you get where he will tell you that he's still hitting bombs. So if he's playing out there with guys that are hitting it 260.
He is. He played with...
no one's got calves like him, so...
Right. He played with somebody in the practice round. They interviewed him. And they said he was out driving me by 60 yards.
Right, it's better for him. He's riding in a cart.
Do they ride or just the caddies drive?
I thought they rode. I know the caddies are definitely in carts. I just assumed they rode with them. Maybe they don't.
I'm not sure how it works. Maybe it depends on the course, but I thought some of the rules were they had to walk, caddies could ride.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't even think you could look that up, Stat Boy.
Yeah, so his brother rode, so
Yeah.
I mean it's nicer for the caddy.
That's cool. Sounds like he just went out and played like a 3-day pro-am and had a good time. Took home $450K.
Yeah.
I like it.
On his way back to San Diego.
Yeah.
Be curious to see what the ratings are for the Champions Tour now that they've got a big name.
Had to go up.
That
was the story on what, Saturday when he missed the cut, or?
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. He talked about it.
I'm going to play a Champions Tour.
Yeah.
I know that I watched this week because of Phil.
Right.
Just see how he was doing, like tuned in a couple times.
Yeah, and that where they played at that Ozark National is part of a big one, and I sent you guys actually a screenshot. Tiger opening a public course.
Yeah.
It's all part of that same resort.
It's part of that Ozark?
Yeah. It's called Payne Valley.
Yeah.
After Payne Stewart.
Did you see CPG's tweet today?
No, I did not.
Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
There was like a picture of the Ozark National, and like in the background there was hills, and he had a red arrow, and I said, my vacation home in Branson's right just over this hill. That's pretty cool. You didn't see it?
No, I did not.
He's got a timeshare in Branson. Yeah. So he gets one of his days off during the year.
2 weekends a year, baby.
Yeah. So give us the details. This is new breaking news per Adam's sources.
Tiger and Justin Thomas are going to take on Rory and Justin Rose in a Ryder Cup style 18-hole match at Tiger's new public course, which is opening. He's opening with this match September 22nd. So
it's televised?
Yeah, on NBC from 3 to 7 or something, on Golf Channel. 3
What
to
a
7.
disappointing fourth.
So
Rory?
Justin Rose.
No, timeout.
But it's remember it's U.S. Europe. So
I
they're
didn't
going to
know.
the format.
I didn't know it was Ryder Cup style. That makes more sense now because when I got your text, I'm like, why Justin Rose?
So it's 18 holes. Let me hear.
I got the Rory part. I got the Justin Thomas part. So I'm like, why Justin Rose?
So the course is called Paynes Valley. It's named after Payne Stewart,
Stewart.
who's from Ozark. Let me see if I can find this.
Side note, while he's looking it up, the show Ozark's great, by the way.
I was going to say, is his family a bunch of money launderers? Or?
Did you ever watch that?
No.
Great show to watch. So it will be elements from the Ryder Cup and President's Cup using 4-ball, foursomes, and single formats in an 18-hole match. So I'm assuming they're going to do 3 sixes.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
it'd be just something different to watch.
That's cool. Tiger designed this course.
Correct. It's the first public course that he designed.
Okay. Sweet. You guys want to go to the Ozarks?
Let's go.
Road trip. Sweet. Well, I got nothing else for golf. So,
I got one more thing.
Oh,
Did
you do?
see Jason Day let go of his swing coach, Colin Swatton? Did you see who his new swing coach is? New swing coach in quotes there.
is it Sean? What's his
No.
face?
Holy.
Foley, yeah.
It is Tiger Woods. He said he is leaning on Tiger Woods heavily because of Tiger's back issues and his back issues. He's hoping that will help him. So he's relying heavily on Tiger to help him with his swing
I mean, that makes sense.
over the next, few months.
What a different person Tiger Woods has become the last 2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That circle that he had before would have never been entered into like this. I mean,
Right.
Hank Haney's book talked all about that. But if you're not on the island, you don't exist to him.
And that island had 3 people on it?
I think usually it was about 8.
And then 14 hookers?
Perkins, waitresses, probably a Waffle House here and there.
Probably a Waffle House here and there. Yeah, it's definitely, I think his realization of that was when he was hurt out, he started to miss the game. And he actually said at one point he didn't know if he'd actually ever play golf again. It was that bad. He couldn't get up off the couch. He was like, I couldn't pick up my kids. Just the little things. And I think his way of staying in touch with the game was he probably stayed in touch with the Justin Thomases, the Jason Days. I know him and Jason Day. Day was hot at that point.
Yeah.
They were. He was pretty open that Tiger was mentoring him, and then big step, like you're saying, was Tiger's not playing, and I think he called Davis Love that year of the was it the President's Cup or Ryder Cup?
Presidents, I believe, yeah.
And he
that was
said,
the squirrel year, right?
I
We had a
want to,
squirrel
yeah.
running around with him.
And he said, I want to be there. I'll do whatever I want to do. And that's actually when I believe him and Phil got to be a lot closer. He said him and Phil talked every day on the phone. So
It's really refreshing. It's like they always say, don't meet your heroes, but I feel like this is kind of us finally, after 20 years of him being such a mysterious figure, we're getting to really meet our hero a little bit. When he's in a press conference, he's actually smiling and kind of juvenile or whatever.
I mean, we literally found out everything.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so did his wife.
Peeled back all the layers.
Apparently, she has a really good swing with a 9-iron.
We didn't mention this. It's one quick golf thing about Kisner's quote that I'm sure it's been circulated around.
Great quote.
But he says, when Dustin Johnson's on, I just step to the side and try to add on to my bank account. And he did really well with that, about $400,000.
Meaning I just play for second.
Yeah. And they grew up together.
They played
I'll
a lot
say
of
together,
North
but
Carolina.
stuff.
yeah, they played a ton of tournaments growing up together. So
Yeah.
I think Kisner's always talked about he's beat him one time, and he to win it he hit one off a tree, then hit one off another tree, and then hit a line drive and it hit the stick and went in for birdie to win it or something. So
I love Kiz. I really do. The reality of it is, though, I think it'd be really tough for him to win a major just because of length.
yeah,
I think his best bet would be either Augusta or a U.S. Open.
what's his
kept him
driving
play.
distance? I'm curious because we say his length, but he probably still hits it I'm guessing his average might be 304, 305.
You guys want to throw a guess out there?
I'm going to say
Short for tour. What's your idea of what short on the tour is these
I
days?
think his average is probably right around 275.
I was thinking that too.
No. 292. But he's one of the best putters on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is why he has a chance in majors.
This is riveting. I can't.
and
Sorry.
Well, he's looking this up. Stat boy's a little stat guy
Stat guy.
is a little slow.
Stat man.
Stat man. Sorry.
Comes to 3 podcasts and he starts making demands.
More impressive with DJ. 5 eagles last week and 3 bogeys. That's pretty damn impressive.
3 bogeys all week?
All week.
That's really impressive.
3 bogeys and 5 eagles.
So how many rounds did he have with no bogeys?
I don't know. He didn't bogey during the 60.
So did he just have like 1 a day or?
Maybe. No, he probably had. He might have 2 or 3 the first day because he only shot 4 under. So he's probably
shot 64, 63 to finish out the weekend.
Yeah.
It's rock solid, man.
The best I can find is that I've got a couple events pulled up, and he's right around 288 usually for his average. And in those same events, you've got Champ, DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy. They're all at 320-ish. So, I mean, he's 30 yards short.
It's a big gap.
Don't you think that he'd play well in a British Open where they're hitting a lot of punchy 3-irons with 70 yards of rollout? I mean, if he's the best putter or one of the best putters on tour,
yeah,
you don't see
that's one
a
of
lot
them.
of Dustin Johnson's really taking over those.
It's
events.
tough. I think the toughest with him would be a PGA because that's like a mixture of just like that's
And he put what T3
at the PGA.
Yeah. He's been playing well right now. So
Yeah, I mean, it'd be sweet if you want to make it. It'd be great for golf. I mean, great for Dewey, man, and those calves. Dewey might have the better calves than Phil. Just throwing that out.
Close.
All right, let's move on to hockey. I have to admit, I've been slacking. I have not been watching hockey. Just been, I don't know, I was busy last weekend and just
Disappointed.
I'm disappointed in myself. But Russ, could you just break it down for us and what's going on in hockey right now? Anything we need to know?
Yeah, so they're in the conference semifinals right now. So there's 8 teams in each conference remaining. Nothing too crazy to talk about yet as far as those series goes. They're just getting started. So, like, we're watching Boston, Tampa. They're in Game 3, tied 1-1. There's nobody with a threat of elimination anytime soon. So, but there's been some off-the-ice news, few items. We've talked about Toronto, the Maple Leafs, a little bit. You threw out one of your theoretical questions 5 or 6 episodes ago about the overrated teams that never get it done. I mentioned Toronto. So Toronto got eliminated, even though they've got one of the best offenses in the league. They got eliminated the qualifying round. So they weren't technically even in this playoff. So they've already started to unload. So they traded Kasperi Kapanen.
Yeah. So they've got a cap issue.
Yeah.
Salary cap issue.
Yeah.
So they traded Kasperi Kapanen, a couple other pieces to Pittsburgh for a first-rounder and a few other pieces, which to me is a huge overpayment for Kasperi Kapanen, a first-rounder.
Especially, and I believe he played with Tavares all year, or most of the year. So
I don't know that. But afterwards, Pittsburgh's GM, Jim Rutherford is Pittsburgh's GM, and he's been noted for making some awkward comments about wanting to make sure trades are fair for both teams.
Yeah.
Rather than just looking out for his own.
Like in the past, he's made these comments?
Yeah.
If it's not fair, why would they take the trade?
Right. Takes 2 parties to agree to it. If
Right.
the other team's comfortable with it, then you got to go with it.
It's not like when you put it on Madden when you were a kid in like Madden 97. You're like all trades go through.
Yeah, that setting was an easy yes. So let me ask you this. So wait, who did they get traded for? Or to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Kapanen went from Toronto to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So basically Toronto was unloading some salary cap room, getting a draft pick in return. The other guys weren't significant enough to take up a bunch of the cap. So, yeah, Toronto traded a player to Pittsburgh for a first-rounder, basically.
Do trades have to be approved by the league like in other leagues? Like the commissioner or whatever it is?
I
Doesn't
think
that
they have
happen
to be
in the
approved,
NFL?
but it's not like, oh, this is a fair trade or not.
Right.
I think they have to be approved more from like a salary cap standpoint. Right. They have to make sure the finances of everything work out.
Administration.
But they're not monitoring, was this player worth
Right. They're not trying to,
Could you imagine? They're like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
You got to take him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain was actually originally a Pittsburgh draft pick. He went to Toronto in the Phil Kessel deal.
Okay.
Never
Didn't know
played
that.
for Pittsburgh, but now he's returning there.
Braves just swept the Yankees,
Well, I
So,
guess
you
it
know,
makes it even from when the Yankees
even.
swept them
even for the season series.
Where'd they play that?
in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in the ATL. Hot Atlanta.
How's the weather there?
It was good today. It was nice.
My goodness.
I'm going to offend some people with this one. I flew through Atlanta one time, just walked through the airport. It smelled like shit. Place just smelled awful. Carry on with your hockey.
Okay. One other not so exciting news point, but this came out just a few hours ago. The NHL has penalized the Arizona Coyotes. Basically, they're calling it a draft sanction. So every year before the draft, the NHL holds a combine similar to how the NFL does it.
Yep.
Apparently, the Coyotes had brought some players in. I don't even know what draft it was, if it was the most recent or whatever, but Coyotes apparently brought some players in prior to this combine and did their own workouts, which I guess is illegal. So after some sort of investigation, the NHL has penalized them a second-round pick in this year's draft and a first-round pick in next year's draft.
Wow.
The Coyotes already traded this year's first to get Taylor Hall early in the year.
So would they've? I wonder if it would have been 2 firsts. If it, if it
If
would
they hadn't traded away
Right.
their pick.
or it would have just been this year's first.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But either way, so the Coyotes traded their first. They just got penalized a second, and they don't have a third for some reason. So they don't even have a draft pick until the 4th round this year. And then they get penalized next year's first.
Not much research to do for the scouts.
Yeah.
Highest available. Let's
Yeah,
go.
so-
Just cut everybody like Buffalo.
That's right.
Goodness. So that was interesting. The other talking point, I sent you a picture a couple days
Yes.
ago. I asked if you'd seen this. And
I'll show Taylor.
so the backstory here out in Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights, their goaltender, Marc Andre Fleury, he was a longtime Pittsburgh Penguin. Penguins had a young up-and-coming goaltender, Matt Murray, when he was in Pittsburgh. So I'll explain that in just a second, Taylor. Taylor's looking at the photo right now. So out in Pittsburgh, you had this situation where Fleury was their longtime goaltender, and Matt Murray came up, kind of outplayed him, and during a playoff run took over as the starter. So Fleury ended up being the backup in Pittsburgh during their last cup run.
Yep.
Even though Fleury had already won, I believe, 2 cups with them. So then the Vegas Golden Knights came into the league. Marc Andre Fleury, I don't know if they had to talk him into it, but he was somewhat reluctant. He ended up getting rid of his no movement clause so that he could be in the expansion draft for Vegas. So Vegas took him first in the expansion draft a couple years ago. So he's kind of been the face of this new Vegas franchise.
Yeah.
So we fast forward to would have been February of this year, February 2020. The Golden Knights got Robin Lehner from Chicago in a trade. Then you have all this COVID crap, and then restart in this playoff scenario. And basically, Robin Lehner, I guess you can make the argument he's outplayed Fleury and has essentially become Vegas's starting goalie throughout this playoff run. So Fleury's on the bench again. I believe Fleury signed an extension within a year or so ago. He's got,
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
believe,
say.
3 more years after this.
I thought it was
on his deal.
just prior to this year.
So after this season, I think he's got 3 more years on his deal at like $5 million or something. So it's not like he's a upcoming free agent.
Right.
So then, just a couple days ago, so the backstory there, Taylor, that picture was sent out by Marc Andre Fleury's agent.
That's what really gets me is
Yeah.
he not making his living off from his players that he's
Right.
representing.
Right. So
Are you just asking to lose your biggest account? Like, it doesn't make
Yeah.
that's some like Michael Scott stuff going on
Yeah.
there.
So we haven't shown that picture, but it almost looks like an artist rendering, like somebody painted it. So it's a picture of Fleury making a save, and there's a huge sword being stabbed through his back. And on the blade of the sword, it says DeBoer, which is Peter DeBoer, is the Vegas' head coach. So basically, Fleury's agent tweets out this picture claiming that Pete DeBoer is stabbing Marc Andre Fleury in the back. I can't for the life of me think of why a player and or a player's agent would send this picture out in the middle of a playoff run.
Yeah, I don't understand. As an agent, like, I feel like that's not. Obviously, you just got a $20 million deal over 4 years for your goaltender.
So 10% of that or something like that is going to you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you send that out and think this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I wonder if he told him before he did it.
So that's kind of a question, and people have. He was obviously Marc Andre Fleury was asked about this the day after or whatever. They had their post game interview. They had Fleury go there. Of course, all these interviews are modified with them going to like a room and a table.
Yeah.
And he was asked about it, and he kind of dodged the question. He didn't directly answer whether or not he gave him permission or whether he knew he was sending that photo out. He didn't answer yes or no. So he didn't exactly help himself or help the situation the way he answered.
Because the best thing he could have said was,
"No, I didn't.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know, and I've asked him to take it down.
Play the naive and say I'll dress with my agent."
So I just don't get it with, like you say, if he was an upcoming free agent and was playing for a contract, then it would still be stupid, but it would at least make sense. But this guy signed for 3 more years.
I mean, now you got to put money that Fleury won't be there next year. And Leonard's a free agent.
But I don't think Leonard will either, because Leonard is a free agent.
I got Subban, right? If he's...
No, Subban's in Chicago.
Oh yeah, so he went to Chicago.
So Leonard's a free agent, but he will be signed for a lot more money than Fleury's making.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he'll get, but I'm guessing he's going to get somewhere in the $7 to $9 million range. So I don't even know. I don't think Vegas can afford Leonard.
Especially if he takes him to the Cup, it's just that that's an extra $1 million or $2 million a year.
Yeah. And now you've got this awkward situation where do you keep him or I don't know. It's a very bizarre situation.
Dumb.
Yes.
Extremely dumb in a business sense for the agent.
I mean, and to put DeBoer's name on that, because when I first saw it, I didn't even notice the name on the sword, but a sword, they're the Golden Knights, so like obviously, that plays into it as well, besides just like a stabbing in the back, but like to put the coach's name on it.
Yeah.
It's just that much more mind-boggling.
When you sent me this picture and he told me it was his agent, the first thing that came to mind was just agents in general. And the first story that I can think of was, do you guys remember when A-Rod was still playing for the Yankees? They got eliminated 1 year from the playoffs. And it was literally during the World Series. And his agent made a statement and said he wants out of New York or something to that effect. He's not coming back to New York.
Yeah.
And A-Rod did the most business savvy, smart thing he could have ever done. He came out, the next day or 2 days later and said, that's not true. I want to be in New York. And he fired his agent. It was Scott Boras.
Yeah, it was Boras.
Yeah. And he fired his agent, like one of the biggest agents in baseball. And he just said, you're out of here, pal.
Yeah.
And that was one of the smartest things A-Rod could have done for his career.
Yeah.
So which begs the question, and I think we've talked about this before, probably not on this podcast, but if you're a professional athlete, do you hire an agent?
We have talked about this on the podcast.
Have we?
Yeah. One of the first few episodes we did.
No, I don't have an agent. I feel like I'm smart enough to do my own negotiating, know relatively what my value is as far as the open market. I'm going to have a lawyer or a second lawyer to review, hey, I negotiated this contract. Please read this and make sure there's nothing weird in it.
And the endorsements and contracts and agreements,
But I feel like unless you're maybe an absolute superstar and you're not only playing, but you're sponsored by 10 different brands and shooting commercials and there's all sorts of side shit like that, then maybe you need somebody to help keep track of that.
A manager.
Yeah. But if I'm just a player and all I'm doing is once every 5 years negotiating a contract and maybe I've got 1 or 2 sponsorships on the side, I feel like I'm smart enough to take care of that myself. And I don't think it's worth the whatever they make, 5 to 15%, giving my money up just to have somebody else do my negotiating.
Right. on my behalf.
So
and there's no way I'd hire an agent.
So
And
agent,
yeah.
yes to a lawyer to help review stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And even it's not even the same scenario, but Tiger, his agent is a very good friend of his. Obviously, it's a different thing because you're not negotiating a contract with the PGA Tour to play or anything like that. But if I have a good friend that you can rely on, and I assume these, especially the big names.
And it should be noted, Fleury's agent is a family friend who's known Marc Andre Fleury since he was like 14 or 15.
Well, that makes it more awkward.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes it worse. If you have a good friend that you trust, and because especially when you're at that level, you've got to have every person around you has got to be. You have to have 150% trust in them.
Yeah,
it's just how it is. But
we've seen that backfire. I mean, not sports, but like you remember Dane Cook, the stand-up comedian. His brother was his accountant or financial advisor. Took all of his money, all of it. Put him in jail.
That was pretty public scenario with Eric Johnson, plays for the Avalanche right now.
Yep.
A few years ago, he had a friend that was his financial analyst, and the guy somehow took like $20 million of Johnson's money without telling him and tried to invest it somewhere, and it didn't go well, and he lost it all. So Eric Johnson, who had made, I don't know, like $30 million in his career, all of a sudden had like 20 of it disappear because his agent made some stupid moves without telling him, or excuse me, his personal finance guy.
that's nuts. Yeah,
I don't know.
just no agent. I also have access to my own bank account.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know they're dealing with sums of money that are much greater than we're used to, but you should be smart enough to be able to log into your own bank accounts and keep track of that kind of stuff.
Not find out years later, like, oh wait, someone took all my money.
and and like you said, if it's, and you think I think about Boris, he's got shitloads of money, but he's negotiating, and he's only taking on big clients. I'm guessing he doesn't have very little guys.
He's like the Don
and for the smaller guys, he's probably got a team of 20 under him that are taking care of those people. So he's only worrying about A-Rod and Harper and whoever those guys that he had. Yeah. But you're negotiating those contracts, especially now. You're negotiating contracts once every 7-8 years.
Yeah, contracts now. Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, you get Scott Boras, and then there was that Drew Rosenhaus who did a lot of the football contracts.
T.O., remember that? Yeah. T.O. doing sit-ups in his driveway.
I mean, those guys, they're two of the biggest agents in sports. I mean, the fact that we know who these guys are, even though they're just agents, shows how big they are. But they have horrible reputations.
Right.
I can't name a sports agent that's like got a great reputation.
Yeah, they've all done something really stupid.
Yeah, and this might be wrong, but I think it was Boris. I think there was a baseball GM. He had a big free agent coming up at the end of the year, and he said, "I'm not negotiating with him," because he's like, "I don't want to deal with Boris." No. So he just wasn't going to deal with him.
That doesn't shock me though.
No, not at all.
I mean, you got fired by like one of the biggest names in baseball at the time.
Right.
Yeah. That says a lot about the guy. I mean,
and you can also look at the reverse. If you are a general manager of a team, I know you can't go down to the locker room and like talk to these guys all the time like a coach does, but wouldn't you think you check in with these players? Hey, I know this guy's going to be a free agent this coming off season. I'm going to go out to dinner with him once every 2 weeks or something, and just kind of keep up with how he's feeling, if he thinks he's going to re-sign here, how things are going. It doesn't have to be a full-blown negotiation, but
it is like a sales pitch almost, though.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to get him to re-enlist or something.
Rather than staying completely in the dark and then hoping you have a good conversation with an agent at the end of the year. Like, I don't know. I'd rather talk
still
to the player.
business at the end of the day.
And I don't have any I can't think of any names off the top of my head, and maybe as I talk about it, you guys will. I feel like there's been some scenarios where some, I wouldn't say top free agents, but some bigger names have went to free agency because their agents are like, yep, they said, hey, I want to be in this place. They don't re-sign because their agent's like, nope, we're going to free agency. And then they don't get signed until, a few weeks before the season starts, and then they're making $5 to $10 million less a year because of it.
You mean like, I'm going to sit out Le'Veon Bell, take less money the next year?
There we go.
Okay.
Goal! Sorry.
Again, Adam has no future as a soccer announcer or any announcer at all.
4-1 Tampa Bay.
Oh.
Yes.
So there is some good news in football, by the way. There will be fans in the stands. They'll be limited, but We do have fans in stands, just so you
in a
guys know.
couple.
How
In some
limited?
stadiums, right?
Some stadiums.
It's a percentage.
I know the
Dolphins
Dolphins were
is
the
like
first team,
13,000. Well, Dallas was actually the first one. Dallas
really?
didn't say how many. They just said, we're having fans.
Won't that be more fans than usual for the Dolphins?
Yeah, they can't. I mean, the first home games against the Bills, it'll be like
That's what I said.
12,900 Bills fans.
Someone said the Dolphins are going to allow 13,000 fans. And the next tweet said, how many of those will be Bills fans? And the next tweet said 8,000.
I mean, every year, they might get 30 in there a year or a game, and it feels like there's 15,000 Bills fans. So, and I'm sure everybody in New York would love a nice trip to Florida.
Yeah,
in a few weeks. So,
sure. So yeah, that's all the NFL news I think I have.
You see, baseball's considering bubble hub cities, kind of like the NHL's doing for the postseason.
I like it.
They said
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they talked about sending one of the leagues to somewhere in Southern California, and then sending the other one to Texas to the new Costco Stadium for the Rangers play, and then having the World Series in Texas.
Yeah, do they have giant slices of pizza for $1 there and churro for 99 cents?
Have you seen that stadium?
No, but
they opened it's not literally Costco.
40-foot ceilings.
It's not a Costco stadium. But the joke was it looked like Google the Ranger Stadium.
They opened a new ballpark this year that they put a ton of money into, and then it just looks like a Costco. Looks like an aluminum warehouse from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, obviously LA is a good spot. You got at least 2 major league stadiums there.
Yeah, I mean, L.A., San Diego. I mean,
so you got 3 there.
It's probably easier to put less teams in a bubble. I mean, that's all these teams all the leagues have gone to bubbles.
Especially you're only going 8
they didn't
teams,
have full league
right?
playing.
So and the only problem is baseball. You could have a 2.5-hour game or a 4-hour game, or just make them these 7-inning games in the playoffs. Like we're playing 7 innings.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Did you find it?
Yeah, it's called Globe Life Field. I mean,
yep.
It looks like you would put it.
It's the wrong
shape.
It
looks like you would put a globe on top of it.
So if you
compare.
So the thing is, they had this really nice artist rendering of what this stadium was supposed to be. Took all this tax dollars, and it was supposed to have like a nice park.
Wait,
the area.
tax dollars?
Yeah.
Half.
Arlington paid for it.
Yeah, most
like cities.
Most professional stadiums are at least paid
Did not
for
know that.
half of it by city tax dollars. Yeah.
Yeah, we went through a breakdown one time of like how Vegas is paying for theirs, but yeah.
But anyways, and then the outcome was it looks like a Costco and
I'm on the
parking lot.
other side of the fence. I don't think it looks bad.
Yeah.
I get the comparison, but it doesn't look bad.
Which picture you got there?
It's a one.
It's an overhead with the roof slit
well,
open.
Well, if you close the roof, it just looks like a big warehouse. So it's different, right? It's very nice inside.
I guess the thing is they had this really nice proposal, took all the city tax dollars, and then the outcome did not look like the proposal.
Bait and switch, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took all the money and.
I mean, the bubble hub cities, whatever we want to call them, for the NHL, it's working.
Yeah.
They still have had 0 positive COVID tests. They have, I know in Toronto, they have this complex around the arena. There's a couple hotels. I was listening to Kevin Hayes' interview on Spit and Chicklets the other day because he's still there.
Right.
Obviously playing for Philly. They said the one main hotel that's right by the arena, and then there's another hotel. So the highest seeds were in the close hotel. And then as some of them got eliminated, like Pittsburgh got eliminated, they're moving the highest remaining seed to that. So eventually all the teams will be in that closest hotel.
Upgraded to a nice hotel.
Has anybody gotten caught sneaking people in?
No, not that I know
Not
of.
in the hockey
No,
leagues?
not in hockey.
Okay.
That's just NBA.
Yeah.
But they have these.
Forgot about that.
They have this complex around it where they can go out and work out and do whatever. But they actually have like a black fence. I'm picturing like a chain link fence with like the black tarps on it, so you can't like see in or out, and they literally can't leave this area.
Yeah, I think I saw. So they're in the Toronto FC's soccer stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they can go out. They've got like cornhole set up and everything for them. I forget who posted. It might. Russ and I've had a lot of conversation about Tyler Sagan lately, but Sagan might have posted something. He's like, this is the first time I've been out of the hotel
Yeah.
because they've played, then they have one day off, they play again.
Yeah.
So their series ended and they had like a day off.
It was their
So
day,
so he went to the stadium. He's like, this is the first time I've been outside. And they just go, they got games and stuff set up for them and just stuff to do and hang out.
It just sounds like a good time, I'll be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's weird. They're away from their families and whatnot, but from the sports side of it, the business side of it, it's working.
Yeah.
They're not having any testing issues. They're getting their games in. It is working.
What was the number I heard the other day?
Are you talking ratings?
No, it was the number of tests. It was something outrageous. It was like 25,000, whatever it was.
I think all the players in there have to be tested. If it's not daily, it's every other day. So I think last I heard it was approaching 30,000 tests, and they've had 0 positive cases.
Unless you send it to a lab in New Jersey.
Yeah. I'd like to know what the ratings. I'm sure that something's been released early on, but I'd like to know what the ratings have been.
I've tried watching a little bit of basketball. Their bubble restart. I absolutely cannot get into it. I've watched some baseball. I've kind of petered off. I haven't watched much of it over the last couple weeks, but to me, the hockey is still like extremely competitive, extremely fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's the way they're doing it is working.
Every night I've had either baseball or hockey on the iPad and then the other one on TV. I mean, last night we were playing PGA Tour and I was standing like 5 feet from the TV playing and I had the hockey game on the iPad sitting there.
You stand when
watching
you play?
all the time.
You psychopath.
So it's
Because he still has like a 20-inch TV.
no. It's like
He was probably
it's
actually
like a little double that.
he was probably actually kneeling down last night reading putts.
I was laying down on the ground.
Yeah. Gave it to Vijagas.
I wouldn't get up if I did that.
I think baseball should go to pod or the bubble or the pods, whatever they want to do.
Yeah, as long as they can find the right area to do them in.
I think it's easier with fewer teams. You don't have to house as many people.
Yes.
You don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. Obviously, LA is a good spot because you got at least 3 major league stadiums. That's big, but is there any other place like that? I don't know.
See, to me, those stadiums aren't close enough to call them like a hub city. You'd still be doing enough travel.
Yeah, well, at least you got 2 stadiums in LA, which is a big help. Obviously, you still got to travel there.
One in LA and one in Anaheim. I think
but they're 30 miles apart. Right, I think they're 30 miles apart, but that's still better than nothing. But
Do we have a geography question for Stat Boy?
yeah, can you
I was gonna.
LA to Anaheim, please?
Yeah, okay, I will real quick. But I was gonna say, wouldn't Florida be the obvious answer because they already do spring training? They've got all the teams
That's what I'm wondering.
doing
Yeah,
it at once.
Could you
Wouldn't that just be a
play
natural
there?
bubble?
I don't know if they'd want that. Is it hard enough to block off those stadiums because they're really open, a lot of them? So if they really want to block them off, is it? I don't know. It depends what goes into all that.
I think it's a good idea. I think the spots are odd. Like, I get you on a West Coast, but you think they'd want to do a hockey day and have like an East Coast, West Coast.
Right.
You could go. You're right. You could go Arizona, Florida, spring training sites.
I think you would do Texas, then someplace on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I think that.
Like I say, I don't know why they picked them, but they said Southern Cali and
It's 32
Texas.
minutes from LA to Anaheim, but that's at 9 p.m.
yeah, I was gonna say
5
put that
p.m. It's probably about 3 hours
on a bus in LA traffic.
It's 26 miles, so
so 6.5 hours.
It's quicker to just get out and walk. Just get out, walk.
How long is it to walk there?
take bird scooters maybe.
Stop and recharge.
Just a whole team.
Just bird scooter. Have you guys seen the video of the Astros where they played the Padres? Padres swept them. Have you seen that video? Astros
What?
were leaving and like
The
all the
Padres had-
buses.
Oh,
They're in the buses.
So,
Some guys out there like screaming. He's
that
like
was
got
a-
a broom.
he copied that from someone else.
Yeah, I know somebody
Yeah.
else did it, but
Philly fan. A Philly fan, clearly. Clearly, that's where I thought it came
the
from.
buses
but-
were leaving, and he's on the sidewalk like yelling at the buses, and he had a broom. Get out of here! And he's like swinging the broom.
Getting them swept out.
Yeah,
You mean the series where the Padres hit 4 grand slams
yeah, yeah. Which
in 5 and 6 days?
So, by the way, I saw I don't know if you guys did see it. A-Rod was on the Pardon My Take show. Might have been yesterday.
Yeah.
Might have been yesterday. But anyway, they brought up the Tatis thing. And he said, first of all, Tatis didn't break any unwritten rule. He didn't. I mean, and then he brought up things that we were talking about. He's like, okay, so it's 3-0. Does he take? And now it's 3-1. And then, what if you just sit up there and you don't swing, and then they come up and they score 4 runs? Like, now you got to burn your bullpen.
Right.
He brought up a lot of that stuff, and he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, Tatis needs to keep doing whatever he's doing because baseball in general needs someone like Tatis.
Yes.
And they need more of it.
They actually talked about it on Spit and Chicklets podcast. And like Ryan Whitney gave the example. He's like, if the Oilers are up 7-0 in a game and McDavid gets a breakaway,
Right.
what do you want him to do? Dump it into the corner?
Right.
Right.
No, he's going to go try to score a goal and make it 8-0.
The whole unwritten rule thing is just ridiculous. It's not Little League. It's not junior varsity.
That was the point they were making is there's no technically like in that case, there's no sportsmanship. Like you guys are adults playing for a lot of money.
Right.
Yep.
Which could, at the end of the day, are impacting a lot of money.
Yep.
Even take it to a smaller level. If you and I go out and play just golf for $25 or whatever, if you're 5 up on me, are you gonna just start hitting it into the bushes? No,
yes.
You're gonna.
Yes, actually.
Maybe if it's you and me.
Yeah, I actually did that. So
Sorry to bring that one up. Yikes.
Got a brawl. Tampa scored, and then there's a fight right after. Chloe, the new goalie, is not
Those
very good.
refs are really getting in there. I don't feel like I
know
normally see them
He's
throwing
got a-
headlocks like
he's got a
that.
Kamara lock on that guy.
I didn't know they
Tap.
scored because Adam didn't announce it.
Goal! Oh my god!
Oh, boy.
Never good when your goalie's number is 80.
It's never good when a third person on your podcast can't.
See, like right here, 5-1 breakaway. What's he supposed to do? Dump it in the corner?
Well,
No,
they just fight
it.
after.
You bury it, make it. Well, that's true. They did beat the shit out of him afterwards. So
Yeah.
that's the hockey equivalent right there.
It's 5-1 in. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And there's
Pull up?
There's a shitload of time
Let him
left, but
cover the
still.
puck.
Here, just stop in front and let it sit there for him.
There we go.
You play until the end. You just never know.
The fight happened at the opposite side of the rink.
That's Tyler Johnson clearly does not want to be fighting.
Yeah. Is that Krug he's fighting?
Yeah, Torrey Krug and Tyler Johnson.
Little scrap.
I like it.
All right, gentlemen.
Love hockey.
Anything else? We'll move on to 3 stars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about them. I got nothing else.
All right, let's move on to 3 stars. You pull up your phone over there like you got stars this week, or you just have another dud.
I do have a dud. I always pick a dud for you. So I was just we didn't really talk that much about NBA, right? Did we talk at all about NBA?
Nah.
No.
Last night I was passively watching one of the basketball games. Clippers scored 154 points. My goodness. I mean, I was peeking up. It's like fourth quarter, 10 minutes left. It's 115 already.
To me, that's not enjoyable.
It's not.
No.
Are you going to play defense at any point, or is it just a 3-point contest at this?
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no defense in the NBA.
I don't really like watching.
Looks like a.
There's a lot of other reasons, but that's one of
The
them.
NBA looks like a giant loop of AAU games
Yeah.
out there just playing in front of scouts.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's get into our 3 stars of the week. Who wants to go first? I went first last week. You should go
I'll
first.
go first. Scotty Scheffler. Anytime you shoot a 59 on tour is worth mentioning. I believe, based on my research, he's just the 12th guy to shoot under 60 on a PGA Tour event. So,
It's quite the class, right?
anytime you break 60, that's worth mentioning. I guess not to dive into another topic, but is that less impressive on a par 71 than a par 72?
No, you got less par 5s to work with. Right? I mean, that's where a lot of people score. I mean, it's the same amount of strokes, right? So it's not like it is that big of a difference.
Right.
But
To
you get what
me,
I'm saying. There's less scoring opportunities.
It's a tour event set up for a tournament on tour. 59 is 59,
Yeah.
no matter how you add it up.
As long as there's a 5 in front.
And I believe Jim Furyk, to add to your notes, is the only person to do it more than once.
Yeah.
He shot 58 once, and he shot 59 once.
Do you before it keeps going? Do you foresee this happening more and more? I mean, they talk about rolling back the golf ball and all these other things. I don't think someone shot 59 until like the early 80s or something.
Yeah, so they
almost randomly.
And it was almost
and then
twice
now
in
it-
one day.
and
It
now
should have
it
been twice in one
seems-
day.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the numbers, but my answer is yes. We're going to see it more often. And I don't remember the exact numbers, kind of like you're saying. They were talking about it Saturday or Sunday in the broadcast. And they said that Yeah, it had been done like 3 times up through like
2001
1998 or
or
something, and then it's been done 8 times or whatever since then.
Seems like it's once a season now, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to see it more.
Yeah. So
guys are
it's
that
definitely
good.
trending that
Yeah.
way.
I don't think it's a technology thing. The guys are that good.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm not throwing a reason out. It just
More exciting
I
to
just
watch.
think
It's good
yes,
for
yes,
golf.
we will see it more often.
By the way, did you see what happened to Scheffler's caddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Got,
He had like a
he got injured.
yeah. He was just like
Said
he tried to jump.
he was jumping up to try to get
See
a
what-
view of something and popped either his calf or his Achilles or something.
Yeah,
So Scheffler had to carry his own bag to the turn, and then they had a
the assistant pro at the golf course carried
at
it.
10. The assistant pro came out and carried it.
Well, you saw was it the U.S. Women's Open or British Open that they just played with the Popov girl that won?
Yeah,
She carried her bag, didn't she? Or push carted?
there was a story. That's a good. You'll have to look that up. But
yeah, you're right. I got a smartphone in my hand. Why
yeah,
not?
but there was somebody who I read was in contention. It might have been her. Which, yes. So back to you, Russ.
So Scotty Scheffler, my 3rd star of the week, 59.
My 3rd star is sitting here in the room, Mr. Kyle Crane,
Right here, over here.
Thunderous applause.
5-time club champ at 2 courses,
Yeah.
back to back.
So now that you're up 5, are you going to start backing off because it's an unwritten rule that you shouldn't win too many of them? Or
I tried. I hit it in the trees on 10.
would you like to take us through the 10th hole? Or is
Sure.
that, is it too raw?
No, it's fine. It was my mistake.
He won. He doesn't mind talking
Yeah, I
about
don't
his
give a
mistake.
shit.
It was Lindsay Weaver, by the way, that
It
pushed
wasn't.
her own cart. But still, I mean,
So, by the way,
big
the
stage.
girl who won,
caddy.
she caddied.
Yeah.
She had no status. She caddied for a friend back in July. So anyway, I shot 69 the first day.
Nice. Giggity.
Yeah, par 72 by the way. I was 2 under to turn on Sunday, so I was 5 under total. For those of you who don't know how to add, you just point the Polish kid.
Yeah, I'm Polish.
Okay. And there was something running through my head, which I will share with you off camera. These guys have probably already heard it. And I didn't try to cut more of the corner than I thought what it normally would, but I was amped up. I was like, I'm making birdie here. And I tried to hit it hard. And when I did, my back foot slipped out and I hit a just screaming hook, not a duck hook. Like this thing was just screaming. It didn't go out and like, it was like moving, but it caught those pine trees on the left.
A worm burner.
No, it was almost treetop level. Like there was a chance it probably could have missed it. It just caught the top of the tree and come straight down. The trees are not trimmed up, so I would have been better off under the tree. These are big pine trees, by the way, for those of you who've never seen them.
Yep.
Big enough where like if you're under the pine trees, I'm 6'2", I can stand up and walk around just fine. I would have been better off if I was under the tree, except for I was on the edge where the trees have not been trimmed up. The branches literally lay on the ground. I made a dumb choice of like, I can get a club on this and get it out. And I made that choice 3 times. So I made a 9. And then it proceeded to compound from there. I made a 9. I bogeyed 11. I doubled 12 where I missed a 1-footer because I wasn't paying attention.
Good par 5 performances.
Yeah. Then I stopped the bleeding with a par and 13. I bogeyed 14. So I'm 8 over on the back 9.
And here comes the heroics. What happened next?
I eagled 15, a par 4, and then I birdied 16. But then I'm up 3 going to 17. I bogeyed 17, and the other person close to me made birdie. So I was only 1 up going down 18. No, my asshole did not pucker. I've been in that situation plenty of times. So yes,
We
but
know
thank
the
you.
ending.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it.
His name's on the wall at the end of the day, so
That's right.
I have nothing negative to say about that.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it was a dumb choice. Looking back on, I don't know why. I mean, you guys have all played in tournaments with me. I'm usually I never got really mad. I'm not one of these people that shows my anger out there, really. But I'm usually pretty savvy about my choices. I was a little shocked that looking back on, I'm like, why didn't I just take the unplayable? Like, that was just stupid of me.
Would you rather take the 9 or have me caddying for you and play around in the bunkers and build a sandcastle?
I'll take the 9.
Good choice.
Weird part was Danny gave me shit, who's, if anything, it's benefiting him. I make the turn. I'm 5 up on him. He finds my ball under the tree while we're looking. He's like, yeah, man, it looks like you got taken unplayable. He said it a couple times, and I didn't.
That's why. That's probably why he didn't. Unplayable my ass. I'm hitting the son of a bitch.
I'll hold my beer, watch this.
Right?
No,
if you would have taken
got a club
unplayable,
on
you
it.
probably would have had a. You obviously had to go up over those trees, but you probably would have had a shot.
I would have been fine.
Just take your medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have been line 4 out.
It was
in the
dumb.
fairway.
It was my own fault. It is what it is, but it's over now and one. So thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. My third star of the week is actually 2 people, kind of in conjunction with Mr. Konopsky over there. I want to give a shout out to Cookie and Jay Hurley, who also won their club championships this weekend. So congrats to those guys. There's talk. Apparently Hurley's got this idea where the 3 of us get together and have a club championship showdown. He said he's going to try to do it over at the country club.
Anybody know who won the other courses in the area?
That's just,
Get a little 8-man.
Do they have AARP cards or?
yeah, I don't know who won.
It doesn't matter how old they are.
I don't know. You could ask. I know who won Bats, and not being an asshole, he's got no chance. And he doesn't want to show up to that match. I'm just saying. Because we'll talk about that off the air, too. So. It's my third star. It's Cookie and Hurley, man. Congrats, guys. I don't even know. That's countless for Cookie, and I think that's 3 for Jay. So.
What are you doing, Stat Boy? You got stars, or are you waiting till the end with a dud?
I'll wait till the end with a dud.
All right.
I love his duds.
I can't wait. I can't think of one, so I'm
So my second star, Dustin Johnson. So the one thing we didn't mention with his win last week is he got to 30 under. 30 under par for the weekend. He won by 11 strokes. Both those numbers are crazy impressive.
Yeah.
So,
and it's the one that's the second lowest under par, I guess, however you want to say it.
Tied Spieth
But
and one behind
Spieth
Ernie.
and one behind Ernie, but they both played par 73 courses.
Oh, really?
Yes, the Century tournament is a par 73. So, however you look at that.
yeah.
Ooh.
See, in that manner, to me, that's still equal because you're still just talking under par. You're not talking about
You got to play the golf course. You got to golf
You're
your
not
ball.
talking about an absolute number. You're talking about.
You're looking at it as, I see where you're coming from, though. Like you're adding a shot.
I mean, he got an extra. They had 2 extra par 5s. So, and seeing what DJ did, that could be another 2 or 3 under par.
Either way, at the end of the day, my feeling has always been, in this case, 59 is 59. 30 under is 30 under. It's impressive.
How do you feel going into they had that weather delay for an hour or whatever it was? Harris English is sitting 21 under and he's 9 back, 8 back. Like how do you feel? You played so well all week and you just
that's that's probably the equivalent of Scotty Scheffler shooting 59 on Friday and not leading the tournament Saturday.
Yeah.
You're still not the leader on Saturday.
You could see it happening, like if you make the cut on the number or something. But for the first 2 days to go out and shoot 59 one of the days.
59, you're still 2 shots back on Saturday.
Yeah, that's impressive. My second star is Albert Pujols, past A-Rod for second or third, however you want to look at it, all-time RBI list. He's now got 2,087. A lot of people don't count Babe Ruth's RBIs because they don't know when they exactly kept track of it. But Hank Aaron has 2,297, and they say Babe Ruth has 2,213. So second or third, however you... Top
That's
3.
interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, so he's top 3. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out because there were some things I saw said he's third now. Some say he's second. I'm like, how do you not know if he's second or third? But some lists don't count Babe Ruth. Some do.
Interesting. I did not know that.
All right.
My second star of the week is Trevor Bauer, who responded to a tweet this week in a challenge. Sonny Gray, they said, had 45 strikeouts in his first 5 starts. Trevor Bauer responded to this and said, "Hold my beer," which Budweiser responded to and said, "If you tie or break this record, we will make beer cans." Said like Cincinnati Buds. And if you guys have probably, I don't know if you have, you've seen the video of him after strikeouts. He was writing letters in the back of the mound. He spelled out Buds. And then he did the mock, opening a beer and cracking it.
Yeah.
So
See a couple. I'm kind of getting on the bandwagon. Russ mentioned last week of he's kind of getting annoying.
Yes.
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
Yes. He's baseball's clown right now.
You know what he's doing? Trevor Bauer is. I think he's going to get traded. He's done the trading block. They said. I think Trevor Bauer thought about this.
He's going to get traded to Houston after he made all the comments.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Would be amazing.
I think Trevor Bauer's setting himself up post baseball. He's making a quote unquote. You can call it a brand. He does a lot of podcasts now. He does some YouTube stuff. So
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's.
I go back to I can't remember. I think it was last season, maybe the year before, when he was still in Cleveland. Francona went to take him out of a game. Instead of handing Francona the ball, he turned around and threw it over the center field fence.
Yeah.
Good Chuck.
But that's the ultimate asshole move to your manager. You don't do that. And ever since then, he just I don't know.
That's what I think.
I can understand your point there, but to me, he's like Bryson DeChambeau. Like, you look like an asshole. You look like an asshole. Just shut your mouth. So,
I think he's setting himself up post baseball to, people know who he is. His name's out there. So, just my guess. All right, second start, Trevor Bauer.
Stat Boy's laughing at me for some reason.
Just taking it all in.
Okay. Keep
That's what she said.
Keep. All right. First start of the week happened last night. Lucas Giolito, Chicago White Sox pitcher, threw a no-hitter against my Pittsburgh Pirates. Only had one walk and 13 strikeouts. So no-hitters, much like 59s, are becoming more and more common over the last decade or two, but they'll always be impressive in my eyes.
I think it's more impressive now because we now know that the ball is juiced. Correct?
Well,
Wasn't that the
it's changing again. I saw an article the other day.
I mean the ball was juiced to to the home runs and to draw attention. So everything's been in the favor of the batter. And there was a stadium, I believe the batters was it the Mets? They complained, so they moved the stadium walls in after they built the stadium.
Yes, the Mets did.
Yeah.
And Detroit did that.
Detroit did it also.
To add on to Russ's, I don't know if you guys saw the final out. It was a bullet line drive to right field. So that ball was hit at 102.6 miles per hour, and with that average speed off the bat, that's usually an 850 batting average with a ball hit that hard.
Who the hell looks that up?
I don't know, but I was like, that's a crazy stat. Popped up.
Some of these stats are going too far, in my opinion.
Stretching.
That's so subjective. Like,
It's stretching.
How do they know
you could hit it 102 at a line drive directly at the center fielder. Huh?
Right.
How far back did you go? You got to go through how many at bats?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Stat Boy probably couldn't find that.
Well, where I was going to go with that is how long have they had the TrackMan? Because they're using a TrackMan just like golf. It sits right behind home plate.
yeah.
They've only had that for how many years? 4 or 5
No,
maybe?
I bet you it's longer than that.
TrackMan's
I
not
bet you,
that old.
I bet you StatCast probably been about 10 years.
Right, which is a short amount of time.
Right, but yeah, it's
And you're going to give out these conclusive stats about what someone would bat if they hit it
They
off the barrel at 100
They
miles
claim
an
to
hour.
know it. You'll have an 850 batting average with 102.7 exit velocity, but yet
Basically-
they don't know Babe Ruth's RBI total. That's just one.
Basically,
there's another.
basically, our Stat Boy just called out everybody Stat Boy.
Come at me. I love a Stat Boy championship. You can have a club championship, whatever.
so. Russ and I were talking about this. I think it was last night when we were playing golf before you hopped on. I was watching, I think, the Padres game, and Hosmer hit a bullet line drive up the middle, and the shortstop was standing right there. Like, these teams are shifting, and guys are hitting line drives right at them. It's like,
Do you guys agree with the shift, real quick?
I don't, but
The old school purist in me hates shifting.
Thank you. Me too.
Moving over a few feet, sure, but when you got the third baseman playing shallow right field, I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I think it's really stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, and
LeBron probably loves it.
There it is.
I mean, yeah, I don't agree with it, but at the same time, like, if you're a good hitter, like, learn to hit the ball the other way.
Yeah.
But in that case, like Hosmer, like, he literally hits a bullet line drive up the middle, and the shortstop's just standing right there behind the second.
You know what I would
He was
do?
like 5 steps behind second base bag.
I would learn to bunt the other direction.
Right, and we've seen that a couple times, but a lot of guys don't do it.
I do it all the time until they stop shifting.
Yeah,
I think bunting accurately has gotten so much harder over the last decade with guys averaging 98 miles an hour.
And a lot of fastballs now have 6 to 8 inches of movement on them.
Yeah.
So
it was far easier when you had pitchers throwing 89 back in, early 2000.
Craig Maddox.
Bunting's got to be ridiculous.
Tom Glavine.
Stellar. John Smoltz.
Yeah. Great pitching staff. One of the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, when you get 10 inches off the
The
plate,
umpires loved him,
that's all
too.
that matters.
You guys want us to finish the podcast while you guys just talk?
Yeah. Hey, it's a bullshit session. Fans love it.
Gets the people going. All right.
All right, my first start is, we've mentioned her, Sophia Popov. So she's been battling, I went a little deep research here. She's been battling Lyme's disease for 3 years, almost quit golf last year. She lost 25 pounds because of it. She is Germany's first women's major winner. She lost her PGA Tour card in 2019, and because of COVID, she didn't have a chance to qualify in 2020, so that would have been 2021. So she's been playing the Sumatra Tour.
Sumatra Tour, yeah.
It's down in Florida.
So she played in one LPGA Tour event and finished top 10. That's how she got into the Open. She was 304th in the world. Won it.
I did see that.
And she does have a NCAA title. She won in 2013 with USC. And as you mentioned earlier, she was caddying.
I saw a picture
month ago.
Yeah, I saw a picture of her like back in July, like standing behind somebody with her phone, taking video of them in a practice round.
And I believe I read her boyfriend, who caddied for her, is a senior at Kentucky. So he didn't get to finish his golf season this year. He's wants to get on the PGA Tour, but obviously couldn't finish because of the golf season not going on.
So basically, what's happened to her is I've had conversations with some of our friends who are playing mini tours or making a run at trying to play professionally. Basically, everybody's set back like 2 years right now because there is no Q schools. They're not doing any qualifiers. So the standard pattern is not there of, trying to qualify. So right now, like your best option is just go to Monday qualifiers and hope you make it, which is damn near impossible.
The Chase Koepka path.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. So, yeah, that's a lot of people they're not doing anything. Like, they're playing small mini tour events, and there's not a lot going on.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Go play the mini tours. My first star of the week is Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar finally, in my opinion, should have happened a long time ago. Moved down to bantamweight, fought at 135, and he beat Pedro Munoz. Frankie looked phenomenal. Did you watch that fight?
No, I did not. I forgot about that.
Frankie looked great, man. He really did. That's where he belongs. Not that Frankie was never not a good fighter in his other weight classes. I think his size kind of hindered him. It's tough for him to close range as small as he is and some of these bigger guys in their weight class. So I think the last time I saw that was when he fought Max Holloway. He was so much smaller than Max. Like, it's tough for him to get in and like land anything and close the range. But Frankie Edgar looked good at 135. I think with that win, wouldn't be shocked if at some point his next fight's a title fight, just because it's Frankie Edgar. And he fought Holloway again for the belt not too long ago. So first star is Frankie Edgar.
Sweet.
Who's the dud?
Stat boy dud of the week.
You're probably not going to like it.
Is
I
it
don't
me
know.
for making 9 on 10?
Should it be? I mean, I can make the last minute audible here, but I picked the 76ers as the dud of the week.
That's a great dud, actually. That's a really good dud.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
I know that there's
Why
debate,
wouldn't I like that?
I didn't know if you're a Celtics fan in any way. I know that it's over the years they've just dominated the 76ers.
You are wearing a shamrock on your shirt right now.
Yeah,
so.
lucky.
It's the St. Patty's Day shirt.
Maybe it's predictable, just the history they've had playing each
Yeah.
other, but it seemed like a lack of effort at best. Is it conspiracy theory? Here we go. They just want out of the bubble. They know they're going to get a good draft pick. They want to be able to sneak chicks into their hotel.
Are you talking about the Sixers?
Yes. Is that just we don't want to be here?
The Sixers get a lot of really good draft picks.
Yeah.
But the process, I think, is over. First of all, in my opinion, Joel Embiid is extremely.
Russ like that one.
That's true, though. I mean, that's what they've been saying for, 2 years? Trust the process. Trust the process.
6 years.
Yeah.
Wait, are they the Buffalo Bills?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa. But the Sixers' plan has, they've gotten, what did they get the 1 year? Then they got Fultz. They got Markel Fultz and whatever the hell his name was, right? And they traded him.
Now he's playing well in Orlando.
Yeah. But he was like a bust. And they've had all these great, they got Ben Simmons.
And don't tell me if Simmons is playing that they might win one game, but Simmons is
but at the end of the day,
a bust.
The biggest bust on that team is Embiid. That guy is garbage.
He's calling you out, Joel.
That guy
you hear that name all the time.
That guy is a shit basketball player.
That's all they've got right now.
He's only half as good as he is now because of how tall he is. He makes poor basketball decisions. He has horrible fundamentals, and he's always hurt. Always. He's a baby. So, yeah, I'm calling you on. You're a shit basketball player, and it's time for that city to – believe me, I've spent my time in Philly. Allie lived there, and I've been to Sixers games. Philly's fans they're crazy. Don't get me wrong.
But they 2 weeks in a row. We've got a Philly fan. They're
passionate about their sport teams, and that city cares, like a lot of other cities do. But Philly fans are crazy. That's why the fanatics or whatever. They got to make changes. They already fired the coach. They fired him yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah,
something like that. So yeah, it was time. Process is over.
I'm glad you at least like the dud. So.
No, it is. It's a great dud. I didn't even think about it.
I can't believe Adam didn't see that coming when he said, "I have no idea."
I wouldn't have. I don't. Well, I don't pay attention to NBA. Really,
what little basketball I've watched and what little Sixers games I've watched on TV, and some of those games I've watched, they've lost by a couple points here or there. And when it came to crunch time in those last 6 to 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, the reason they lost was Embiid. Okay, you do not step out and play the perimeter to shoot a three because you just want to shoot a three. Like
he's not Dirk Nowitzki.
It's stupid. He's the reason they lose. I mean, I watched him lose a game one time. I don't even remember who they were playing. He came down the court and he shot like 4 threes in a row. I'm like, that's not winning you basketball games. You're a big guy. Get your ass in there and rebound and battle with him. This is my personal opinion. The big guy's a lost art in the NBA.
I don't disagree at all.
And it's gone to the 3-point game. I think if teams would reverse that and get a big guy, they actually probably win. Because not everybody can come out and just start chucking up threes. They're not going to make them every night. You can out-rebound teams and out-muscle teams. You'll win basketball games. You might even win championships.
That's why Philly. I think Steven Adams in Oklahoma is one of the more underrated big guys
Absolutely.
in the NBA because he does play that old school, I don't care about scoring, don't care about my own stats. I'm just going to rebound the ball. And
he's got that rugby. I assume he played rugby. He's from Australia, so he's got that mentality.
Yeah.
Great dud.
He's one of those guys I feel like if he was on a championship caliber team, he'd be a huge asset.
Yeah.
Steven Adams.
I thought you were going to give me like DJ's last 7 holes on Friday or something.
7 pars in a row is not bad. You're not hurting
But
yourself.
when
You're not making
when
a 9.
Need a birdie to shoot 59.
I've let the 9 go. He has it.
I'm seeing those.
Callbacks. As the ladies always say to me, is that it?
I cannot wait for your mom to hear that.
Make your mama proud.
Yeah. That's it for me. You guys, anything else?
Oh, well, we were playing golf last night, and my buddy was texting me yesterday afternoon. He was listening to the podcast, and we were playing golf last night, and he goes, I kind of want to meet your buddy that went to Pound Town.
Oh, my God.
Hey, you brought it up. Callbacks.
Oh, boy.
Well, on that note, I think that's see you next week.
I will see you guys next week.
All right.